What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Depth Podcast. My name is Joey Alfieri, as always, with the man, the myth. I don't want to say legend. Simon Tsalikis. I'm not saying it.
All right,
what's going on, Tsalikis?
Joey, how you doing?
I'm living a dream, man. I get to sit in the studio with some of my very best friends, and you and producer Sam.
Yeah.
And the AC is cranked up a little bit. I don't know what's going on. It's like minus 14 out there, and the AC is on. So I'm kind of glad I'm wearing.
It's trying to get you.
I don't.
It's got to be a tougher.
Cold, man.
It's got to be a tougher podcast, Joey. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, but I don't do well in the cold, man. I don't. Even if like the pool's too cold, I can't. I'm not a.
How about a drink?
Drink, yes.
Yes, okay, fine.
Yeah, tall glass of H2O.
Wow.
Nothing beats a tall glass.
Nothing beats, Joey.
Of H2O.
Yeah.
We've got a very busy show lined up for you for the second week in a row. Really excited about this. We're going to get to speak to a former Canadiens first-round pick. Last week, we spoke to Louis LeBlanc. Got some great feedback there. And right now, we go to the guest line. We'll speak to former NHLer, 16th overall pick of the Montreal Canadiens in 1998, Mr. Éric Chouinard. Éric, what's going on, man?
Hello, gentlemen. How you doing?
Doing very well.
Doing very well. Thank you for doing this. Appreciate you taking the time. We know you're a very, very busy man. VP of Hockey Ops at the Q with my buddy Mario Cecchini, correct?
Absolutely.
And you're also
indeed very busy.
Yeah, very busy. And I know that you're the GM of Séminaire Saint-François in midget AAA hockey. So, like, can you break down like your week? Like that's like you've got full-time gigs going. You've got many full-time gigs.
Yes, absolutely. I love it too. I'm still involved in hockey, and that's great. I, of course, on a daily basis, follow everything that happens with the Q. There's so much going on during the week, and so get everything. Follow everything that needs to need follow up, and then with the midget AAA team. On a daily basis, I talk to the coaches, make sure everything is running smoothly with the team, and if I'll go usually Wednesday or Thursday. I make sure to go there and to sometimes jump on the ice with them and skate with them and follow up with things there. So very, very busy, of course, but can't complain. I'm still involved in hockey, so I'm very lucky.
When you say skate, what are we doing here? We're talking laps, or we're talking you're breaking down assignments? I'm just saying. I want to know what the H2O, whatever those levels are at, if they're still there. Éric,
I'm still shooting pucks. That's about it.
Keep doing it. That's it. So I live in Laval, and not too far from my house, about 15, 16 minutes. Blainville is having themselves a good year in the Q, and I just from the time when you were a young man. And, you were getting recruited or getting eligible for the draft in the Q. Like, how things have changed. What's the biggest change from the time when you were a 17-year-old from now a time a 17-year-old, 18-year-old is heading into the Q?
I feel like the players are so skilled. They're so skilled. They're so they learn how to play very young, and they're skilled. They're good skaters. The game is so fast. It's so much faster than what it used to be. I think it's just overall everything is improved quite a bit. And if you watch the game today, junior hockey today compared to what it was, it's just everything is so much faster, so much quicker on the ice. And so it's fun to watch.
I've got the final stat line, or the final 2 years, Éric Chouinard with the Ramparts. You ready for them,
Let's go.
Simon?
Yes.
All right. 1998, 1999, 50 goals only, and 109 points in 62 games. And then the following year, in 99, 2000, 57 goals, 104 points in only 50 games. Unreal, those numbers. So if I can take you back to that time, Éric, 1998... what was it? The Marine Midland Arena? Is that what it was called in Buffalo? That's where the 1998 NHL draft was. I don't want to know how you were feeling before the draft. I would imagine that you were quite nervous. But at what moment did it sink in that you were drafted by the Montreal Canadiens and this was all for real? Like, what was that night like?
I mean, it was quite the day. It was, I had meetings with my agent in the morning. He kind of gave me an update as to like what team was gonna like it was really were interested, and so I had in mind that I was going to Buffalo.
Interesting.
Buffalo had the 18th pick at that year, and agents were really high on Buffalo. They thought they were really interested in having me, and so I had in mind that I was going there, and Montreal picked me 16th. So it was a dream come true. I mean, you work so hard as a young kid, and you dream to play in the NHL, and of course the draft is the first step into the league, and so it was one heck of a day. I mean, being from the province, just going back home the next day and seeing my face on the papers everywhere. It was quite, life changing for sure.
Absolutely. I can only imagine. So your first goal was against the Pittsburgh Penguins, but then the ultimate God chez nous, Mario goes off for a hat trick in that game. At some point, did you say something like maybe on some good francophone there, like, hey, man, it's my moment here. Like, you need to go with a hattie when I'm scoring my first goal in the NHL. Just look, we all grew up watching that guy with Voisin Laval, I believe it was, just reading him in the paper. Just the drafty, I would imagine, is so special, specifically when you get back home with your family and you're a member of the Canadiens. But just maybe hitting the ice with 66 running around out there, how cool was that?
Unbelievable. Like it's you don't like to lose a hockey game, but that night I scored the only goal for the Montreal Canadiens, and Mario had 3 for Pittsburgh, and so it makes for a very good story. He obviously, I mean, you can't. He's a superstar. He's probably the best to ever play. It was just very impressive. Very impressive to be on the ice with him and to see how calm and how talented he was. And so for a young kid, playing in, I think it was my 4th or 5th game in the NHL, and so to go and score my first goal in the NHL against Mario, and that he scores 3 that night. I mean, it was certainly something I'll remember for forever.
Did you have a chance in that game? Like, were you guys on the ice at the same time at all?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
It happened. I was, for sure.
But what's going through your mind there? Like, that's obviously somebody that you grew up, you grew up hearing about, you grew up watching, but like, just what's that like when you step on the ice and you see big 66 on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I say, it's like a dream. You watch players like that when you're growing up, and you watch all-star games, and you watch like all everything that player was. Like, he was such a good player, and then to be on the same ice is certainly like it's you're in awe for sure, but at the same time you're playing the game of hockey, so you have to go out there and do your best and try to win the hockey game. So, but definitely very impressive.
We're just doing a little bit of our homework, and your one of your first goals, you scored on Martin Brodeur as well, right? There's a goal against. So when you were with the Flyers, your first goal. So when you clearly, I don't have the video here, but I would imagine you rifled one right by him. He didn't have an answer for it. Anything as you skated by? Anything? A little bit of trash talking with Martin Brodeur after you beat him for a goal?
No, I didn't. I was young. I was like 20 years old, so I was pretty much not very talkative out there. But that's another good story. My first goal as a Flyer with the Flyers. First goal was against Martin Brodeur in New Jersey, and so it was a nice one too.
Nice,
right under the bar.
That's it.
So again, very good memories. It's you grew up watching guys like that, and to be on the same ice and having some good stories to tell people today it was fun, a lot of fun.
You mentioned eventually you went to Philly. Like there was a lot of French Canadians on the roster. Like how much did that? Desjardins was there, obviously very familiar with Simon Gagne. Donald Brashear, I think, was there when you were there, and then there was a couple other guys that had a cup of coffee with the Flyers. How much did that help having those local guys?
Very helpful. Éric Desjardins was right beside me in the dressing room. Very calm. He's a really good person, and I remember sitting beside him, and he was really helpful when I first got there. And that whole dressing room, I was filled with superstars, like very talented team, tough team to crack, the lineup. It was very a lot of talent, but just good people. And the Ronicks, the Primos, the Reckies, just a very good team. And it was, as a young kid, you look up to players like that, and you want to learn, and you want to get to play with them, and to make a name for yourself. And so definitely had some good times with players like that.
Okay, good times. I want to hear good times with Jeremy Roenick. He was all. I mean, he was all. We know like how he was on TV, but he was always like that, right? Like the 2 Stanley Cup rings, plugged in. When Patrick answered him, like you have a good Roenick story because you were in your early 20s when you got there, and he was already well into his 30s, wasn't he?
Yeah, Jeremy, like he was very entertaining. Always dancing in the dressing room, always having fun and making you smile. And but the one thing that I remember of Jeremy is that he was really he's a good human being. Like I had a young daughter at the time, and he was always had a lot of fun, and it was really loud sometimes, but at the same time, like he was the first one to come in the morning and ask, like, "Hey, Schwinny, how's your daughter doing? How's the newborn? How's everything at home?" And he was good human. I really enjoyed playing with him, and he was obviously a superstar as well, and he was very talented. But that's the one thing that I remember from him for sure.
So that's one of those things that we talk about, right? When we're talking hockey, about that veteran presence, and it's such a nice cliche, but you look at just the Canadians, the youngest team in the NHL. They've got their vets, though, right? They got a couple of guys out there, Matheson and Gallagher. You look at teams like San Jose; they're really young. So, Eric, how important is that dynamic in that locker room with a guy who's maybe lost a step, but it doesn't matter because what he brings, between periods, what he brings, 2 minutes before you get out of that tunnel and you hit the ice. Like, how important is that veteran presence?
Any league or any hockey team, it is so important to have good leadership. Good leadership and good mentorship is extremely important. And so, like sometimes I find people are very hard on certain players, saying that they're too slow because they're getting older, and it's. But like that veteran presence is so important for a young kid coming in, and the players have so much to learn when they first get into the NHL, and so to have that mentorship and to have people to look up to, and to learn the things you have to learn to be a good NHL player, for sure, it is extremely important.
During the lockout, you went to Austria. You spent a number of years playing in Germany. You spent some years in France as well. You often hear these great, only in European hockey stories. I mean, you spend a lot of time there. I'm just curious, like, what did you make of that time, and what kind of stands out when you think about your time over in Europe? Because you were very successful out there.
I had a lot of fun. I had a blast in Europe. I kind of had the best of both worlds. I played in the NHL. It was a dream come true, but then I played in overseas as well, and had so much fun playing there. To discover so many beautiful places around the world, and had a chance to tell you like a story. I was coached by Dreisaitl's dad in Germany.
Wow.
And in Nuremberg, Germany, and he was a really good, like, he had a good hockey mind. And as young kid his son used to come on the ice with us. He was like 13, 14 years old and shooting pucks I never thought the kid was going to end up being a superstar in the NHL, but I do remember the kid having some. He was a talented kid, but he used to come after practice with us and shoot some pucks. And so his dad was definitely a good coach, good hockey coach that I had over in Germany. And so it was a good, really good ride. I had a lot of fun. Again, played in the NHL and went overseas and played for many years and had good friendships all over the world. So it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, I feel terrible. I didn't do enough homework. But it's well, sorry, Joey.
Go ahead.
It pops up on my television every year, and I think it's awesome because you and I, Joey, both are fan of European sports, and hockey looks a little bit differently. So, Eric, did you get to play in a Spengler Cup? Did you win a Spengler Cup at any time?
No, I didn't play in the Spengler Cup.
I apologize.
It's one thing that I wish I could have played in the Spengler Cup. Team Canada is made mostly of players that play in Switzerland that are
really?
Canadians, and so mostly. And when I played mostly in Germany, I mostly played in Nuremberg. And a couple of years after I left the team, they went to the Spengler Cup because the Spengler Cup is 2 teams from Switzerland, Team Canada, and three random teams that are invited from everywhere in Europe, really.
Right.
And so the 1 year, a couple of years after I left Nuremberg, that my team went to the Spengler Cup, so I missed out.
It's fun.
It's always cool.
I should have stayed a couple of years more to get that chance for sure.
It's always good to play a game when there's like a Volkswagen Beetle in the corner
cool.
of the ring.
No, it's cool. Like I've seen a lot, and it's just funny because like I remember like Joe Thornton and Rick Nash. I think they played for HC Davos.
Okay, yeah,
and they're playing like against Canada.
Yeah,
like, it's so because you're
yes.
playing for your club team, right? Okay, there's 2 gentlemen I wanted to ask you about before we let you go. To me, Michel Therrien and Ken Hitchcock, they do not look like funny people. Okay, they both coached you, but they could be funny to me when they got worked up. I'm just curious, were either of those guys funny? Which guy was funnier? And did they ever I would imagine at some point you guys all got bag skated by one of those 2 guys, no?
Michel, for sure, guaranteed. He was the funniest of the 2. Michel has some good stories. He used to get in the dressing room and he was a really good motivator. I really liked my time with Michel. He was very hard on me. I played for him in a little bit in the American League. I had a lot of success under Michel Therrien in the American League, and then played my time in Montreal. He was there as well. Very, very hard, but fair. And I liked playing for him for sure. Ken Hitchcock was a very good hockey mind. Like he knew the game of hockey, and he was a student. Like he knew so much about it, and really attention to the details. Very, very detail oriented. And so 2 very good hockey coaches. Obviously, if you coach in the NHL, it's that you have a good hockey mind, and so a very good. But to your question, Michel Therrien for sure with the stories that maybe I can't say on.
Try us. Try us.
Definitely had some good stories of Michel Therrien with his way of motivating his player.
You also had Jacques Lemaire, by the way. I think Michel Therrien is probably funnier than Jacques Lemaire was the.
I'm just wondering, Eric, with that famous rant by Michel Therrien. So I'm watching this as a guy that played like Shamedy, Bantam, B, whatever, and I'm thinking this is nuts. As an professional player at the time, what are you thinking when you see a coach? How does he walk back into the locker room? The first time you heard that, he talked about taking money from them, like docking their pay because they're so soft. So the first time you heard one of the most epic rants, and if hockey was as popular as the National Football League, that rant would be up there with some of the best rants ever.
Oh, it is.
But what were your thoughts when you heard Michel Therrien just blow up his blue line?
No, he didn't have any. I wouldn't say he went very far to try to motivate his players, and that was one way for sure to get his players to wake up and play the game, the way he wanted the game to be played. And so that's Michel for you. He was like that, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of the players really enjoyed playing for him. He was really demanding, but at the same time, like I said earlier, he was a fair hockey coach. And but you know, they all have their ways of doing things, and Michel was definitely. He went, you know, he had some good ones out there to make sure that he got his player going.
Can you tell us the worst you ever got chewed out by Michel?
Oh, I remember that my first month in Quebec with the Citadels at the time. It was the farm team of Montreal, and he like I was on a video, like we did the video after a practice actually, and it was about the previous game, and he just gave it to me. It was like all Eric this, Eric that, Chouinard this, Chouinard that, and basically wanted me to play defense and to learn how to play defense. And hey, it was all good. At the end of the day, it was trying to teach me how to play, and it's you know it was okay. But
Defense overrated, I say.
That's it.
I think you don't need. You shouldn't have to play defense, right? That's not what he was trying to tell you?
No, I don't think so.
Eric, thanks for doing this. Really appreciate you taking the time. It's always fun to chat with you and go down memory lane. Really appreciate it. All the best with everything you have going on in hockey, and hopefully we can talk to you again real soon.
Thank you, gentlemen. A lot of fun.
Thank you, sir.
That's a former Montreal Canadiens first-round pick playing the NHL with the Philadelphia Flyers as well and the Minnesota Wild. I mean, think seriously. Coached by Michel Therrien, coached by Ken Hitchcock, and coached by Jacques Lemaire. That's
three different.
That's pretty crazy.
I'm gonna say the one thing that Eric said that I think resonates with all three of those guys.
Yes.
Great accountability with all three of those guys. Like, you know, every coach is going to hold you accountable, but some guys are going to relay that message to the masses that you're being held accountable by a chewing out on the bench, stapling your butt to the bench or whatever. But those three different styles.
Yeah, and I just want to get this in because I know that Eric is involved in this with Midget AAA. So the CCM Challenge 2025 is in Chateauguay from December 10th to December the 14th. So we're smack right in the middle of it. It's 50 years of Midget AAA hockey, and I don't need to tell you, there's a lot of not just Q stars and but NHL stars, AHL stars, pro hockey stars as well that have gone through that tournament. It's been 50 years of that tournament, and so I know that Eric is involved, obviously, with his team out there, and so that's we're smack in the middle of it this week. So Tsalikis,
Yes, sir.
that was fun. It was back-to-back weeks with the former Canadiens first-round pick. That was
Not
very
bad,
good.
eh? Getting drafted, scoring a goal, watching Mario
That's
go
gotta
off.
be crazy.
That's
though.
got to be nuts.
That's got to be crazy.
Gotta be
Like,
nuts.
not just watching, but imagine like you're a kid from here,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're like,
Yeah, it's
the
not like
16th overall pick,
Yeah.
Montreal Canadiens select, and you're like,
It's not like the NFL.
What in the
Right?
world just happened here?
The NFL, you get the call that you're going to get drafted. Like, Eric's sitting there with his parents, wondering who the Habs are going to take.
And you hear the
then,
name. And there's no
what?
text messages back in the day.
No,
The
there's
agent
nothing.
couldn't tip you
no,
off.
nothing. Yeah, there's nothing. Like, we're sitting there waiting like the rest of us. So, crazy stuff.
All right, Tsalikis, that's all the time we have. Have a great weekend, man. It's fun, always fun to be in studio with you. Sam, thank you very much for your time, and thank you to Éric Chouinard. You can follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Sports Dep Pod. Same thing on TikTok, and you can subscribe on YouTube. You can get notifications as soon as Sam uploads the episodes at like 6 in the morning.
Nice.
Sam does it every day.
I like that.
So people watch. Some people watch on the way to work. Some people watch on the way back from work. Some people watch during lunch. So they're always available. And if you hit subscribe and leave us a rating, and if you make fun of Tsalikis, that you earn some respect in my eyes. So that's always fun.
Sam's laughing. I don't know why Sam's laughing.
Yeah, Sam agrees with me. And you can also listen if you want to listen to the show and you don't want to see us. That's okay. You can listen on Apple Podcasts. You can listen on Spotify as well. Just search up Sports Dep Pod, subscribe there as well, and leave us a 5-star rating because Tsalikis looks good. His glasses are nice, and have a great weekend, Tsalikis.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you on Monday.
Yes, sir.